What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NBA DFS video. It is Saturday. It is February 1st. We are back. We have 2 early games, but we are going to cover the 6-game main slate here for you. If you've never been to the channel before, hopefully you're in for a treat. We do things probably a little bit different than other places, but we are here to make you better DFS players. Now, how do we do this? So we run simulations. So I have 10,000 simulations already ran for right now. We are going to give you 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks after 10,000 simulations. We're going to give you those projections out there. We're going to give you a projection range. On top of that, we have giveaways every single video. Here is how to win. Like this video, be a subscriber to the channel, and you have to leave a comment on the video for the comment picker to pick you up. If you do all of those, and this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That is a week of every sport. So depending on when you watch this video, you may have a chance to get today's MMA content. So it locks, I believe, at 9 a.m. So it just depends on when you watch this video. So in that, if this video gets 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month of FTA+. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. Now, second way to win. Somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or key phrase. Listen for it, like it, type it in. Then you'll have a second chance to win a free week of FTA+. Now, we had, in yesterday's video, we had 55 likes as of the making of this video. So that we have to hit a minimum of 50 likes right around lineup lock. So if we film this video after lock, right after lock, depending, it's got to be at least 50 there. So we are going to have the giveaway right now. We're going to see who the first giveaway is. Even if they have the keyword or key phrase in there, it's only because we had 50 likes. We will re-roll it the second time. So the winner there is Brian Tate. So congratulations, Brian. Please hit us up. dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. The question was, what happened? No lineups today or yesterday. So we were doing lineups, like we were building lineups in these videos, but we were getting to the point, and it was explained in yesterday's video, that we were getting to the point where we were building some lineups, but like half of the players were ruled out, and then the lineup was moot just completely. So I said, if anyone wanted to see anything, ask in the Discord. So we do have an absolutely completely free Discord down below. Click the link, get in there. We've got core plays in there. We've got value plays. If you guys want to see other things or have questions, bounce ideas off of each other, you can get it there as well. So Brian, congratulations. Please email us. You won a free week. Now we are going to roll this till we see that beautiful bean footage, aka that keyword from there. Kenny Brayboy won yesterday. Would have won today. But the keyword is not in this comment. So we are going to re-roll it and see. So that's why I say, if you leave a comment, put the keyword in every single comment. NY Stiegel seems to win every other day. That is because they come back every day. So all you got to do is come back. So NY Stiegel, hit me up, email me. You know the deal. We will get you set up. So that being said, we are going to go over some plays we like at each position. Then we're going to build a lineup on DraftKings. We're going to build a lineup on FanDuel. And even for you crazy people that play over on Yahoo, we are going to build a lineup on Yahoo. So what we're going to do is, these are early projections like we mentioned. So things can and will change throughout the day. We've got players that are questionable or game time decision. That will open up some value later on. So I usually say, since it's a 7 Eastern lock time, about 2 hours before main slate locks, check FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, NBA tab. We've got Vegas odds all the way down to a cheat sheet. We've got projections and simulations as well. So, looking at point guard, right off the top, SGA. We're looking at SGA about 52 to 55 fantasy points. Not the best matchup DVP-wise against Sacramento. Third DVP, but still in a good spot there. Second one is Jalen Brunson against the Lakers, 42 to 45 fantasy points. Tyler Hero against San Antonio, 23rd DVP. We're looking at about 42 to 45 fantasy points there. So we come down the list a little bit. Depending. So Westbrook, of course. out, Cam Thomas out, DiVincenzo out. So when I say mid-tier, we're looking about 7K or below, right in that range-ish. So looking at this, we got Jordan Poole against Minnesota, 33 fantasy points. Fred VanVleet against Brooklyn, about 32 to 35. D'Angelo Russell against Houston, 18 DVP, about 32 to 35. Then when I say value, I am, at least on DraftKings, I'm looking around the 5K mark and below, and around minimum of 5 times value. Now, a lot of plays will open up later on after these videos go live because a lot of players are ruled in or out. So these are early value plays. But just kind of looking at early value plays, Keon Johnson right around 24 to 26 fantasy points. Stephen Castle against Miami, 17 DVP, right around 23 to 26 fantasy points. And I'm looking at Cason Wallace against Sacramento, not the best DVP matchup, third there, but about 20 to 25 fantasy points to round out the point guard. Now, we go to the top for the shooting guard. I love Anthony Edwards in this matchup going up against Washington. 30th DVP, about 47 to 52 fantasy point range is what I'm looking at 9,600. I'm okay with that because he does have the best DVP matchup there. You got Jamal Murray against Charlotte, 22nd DVP, about 36 to 40 fantasy points. Malik Monk against OKC, second DVP, so not the best, but we're still looking about 36 to 40 fantasy point range early on. Now, anything can happen. I get that. People can get hurt, like AD. We'll never use AD again because he was on a tear for 4 games. I didn't want to use him. Then I finally used him, and he gets hurt with his tummy ache, and now he's out for an extended period. He is the softest person I've ever met, outside of like Greg, outside of like, Greg Odom, Embiid, those guys. Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees, those guys. Anyway, mid-tier that we're looking at, depending on where we're going to go, Michael Bridges against the Lakers, they're about 30 fantasy points. Devin Vassell against Miami, about 29 to 32. Bilal Coulibaly against Minnesota, first DVP, so not the best matchup for him, but we're looking about 25 to 28 fantasy points. Then we get down here to the value plays. We come down a little bit. I'm looking at Duncan Robinson, about 22 to 25. Nick Smith, about 22 to 25 fantasy points. And Zaire Williams against Houston, 14th DVP, so almost right in the middle, about 22 to 25 fantasy points for Williams. Move up to small forward. At the top, we got Amen Thompson, 41 to 45 fantasy points. I wanted to look at Josh Hart, but he is questionable. He's got the questionable tag. He's got that AD tag. He's got that LeBron tag. He's got that Giannis tag with questionable, but he's been playing. So we look at this. Josh Hart against the Lakers, 26 DVP, so a fantastic DVP for him. Looking about 37 to 41 fantasy point range. And if we look at what he's done against the Lakers this year, he has not played them, so that could be a sneaky pick there. Then DeMar DeRozan against OKC, 22nd DVP, but looking right around 32 to 36 fantasy points. Moving to mid-tier. There's not a ton of mid-tier picks here, guys. With 6 games, certain positions don't have a ton. But if you want to look around this, we can. We can look at Jaden McDaniels against Washington, about 27 fantasy points. Michael Porter Jr. against Charlotte, 30th DVP, so the worst DVP, or the best DVP for him, about 25 to 28 fantasy points. Then we've got Wilson. Now, what we're looking in Jalen Wilson, first DVP, so not the best. Don't know how many minutes he's going to get, but about 25 to 28 fantasy points. It's been a couple games since he's hit that. If we look at splits against Houston, he has not played them before. It'll really just depend on if he gets the minutes to play. Then we find a little bit of value down here. Not a ton, a little bit. You got Harrison Barnes against Miami, 23 to 25. Christian Braun, about 23 to 25 fantasy points as well. And then we even go down further. Lou Dort against Sacramento, 25th DVP, 20 to 24 fantasy points for Dort. Then we move to the power forward position. But before we do that, the key phrase of the day, Saturdays are for the boys. It is Saturday, so Saturdays are for the boys. Get that in there. Let's go. Okay, so looking at the power forward position, LeBron James got that, like we said, questionable tag every single day. Do not expect anything less than that. Him without AD against Washington, I thought he'd do better. But the fact is, they were up 40, played 27 minutes. If this game is closer against the Knicks, should be a good game. I would not be surprised at all. But I've got him projected about 51 to 54 fantasy points. Would not surprise me if he puts up 60 plus. He has not faced the Knicks this year yet. It's a premier matchup in Madison Square Garden. We know that LeBron loves the spotlight, and AD is out. I don't mind LeBron whatsoever. Miles Bridges is next against Denver, about 41 to 45 fantasy points. Jalen Williams against Sacramento, right around 40 to 43 fantasy points. Going down mid-tier, I mean, you can just see all the people that are ruled out, questionable, all in order. So we get down a little bit to mid-tier. We're looking at Kyle Kuzma, about 30 fantasy points. OG Anunoby against the Lakers, 26 DVP, about 30 to 34 fantasy points. Naz Reid, about 27 fantasy points. Then we go even further down. We look under 5K. Keegan Murray, right around 24 to 28 fantasy points. Dylan Brooks against Brooklyn, 28 DVP, so a fantastic matchup for him if he gets the minutes. I'm looking early projections, 23 to 26 fantasy points. And then Aaron Gordon going up against Charlotte, 24th DVP, about 20 to 24 fantasy points as well. Now, like I said, other value will open up throughout the day. That is why you got to check back constantly at our projections, check back constantly at our simulations. But we are looking at the top. Jokic going up against Charlotte. Now, what I'll tell you, for NBA purposes, do not follow this right here, because his DVP on DraftKings is actually 18th out of 30. This is showing 26. Now, while Jokic is damn near matchup proof, these numbers do lie. These are just offensive or opponent rank, not DVP. Now, DVP is only one part of the pie. You want to look at pace of play. You want to see what team is going to have the possession of the ball the most, how many shots they put up a game, the defense, how many shots they give up per game, up and down. There's so much more that goes into building your lineups more than just DVP, but it is a good kind of factor, starting factor, when you're building sort of a base for your lineup. So we got Jokic about 58 to 63 fantasy points. Again, a better, I mean, he is 12K, so he's very expensive. But we know that he's capable of a, 99-point game there. He let us down 2 nights ago when he put up 40. So yeah, it just depends. And some of these guys are on a second game of a back-to-back. So it is always, always cautiously optimistic about the guys playing on a second game of a back-to-back. So if you want to look at it, you want to look at, if you are like stuck between a couple of players and you know that both of these players are in a second game of a back-to-back, I would go look at their game logs and I would see how they did in game 1 compared to how they've done in game 2 in the back-to-backs. That is one portion. Then I would look at DVP. Then I would look at pace of play, both teams, both players, what their teams do on pace of play. Add all of that up, and then that hopefully gets you a good base of when you're building. So then we got Victor Wembanyama going up against Miami, about 52 to 55. Domantas Sabonis here against OKC. Not the best matchup. Third DVP, but we're looking about 50 to 54 fantasy points as well. A lot of questionable, a lot of guys out already. We'll come down here. We'll look at Isaiah Hartenstein going up against Sacramento. 20th DVP, about 35 to 38 fantasy points. Khalil Ware going up against San Antonio, 21st DVP, 30 to 34 fantasy points. And one of my favorites, if you don't want to pay all the way up, you want to pay half of what you would pay for Jokic, is Rudy Gobert going up against Washington. 30th DVP for Minnesota, 28 to 32 fantasy points. Now, my problem with Gobert is if this game gets out of hand, he may sit. So if we look at splits, he's already played Washington once this year, played 32 minutes, got 33 fantasy points. So it's over 1 fantasy point per minute, which is exactly what you need. But I do like Gobert here. My only problem is hopefully the game doesn't get too out of hand where they sit him and the backup comes in. That's the only thing that I'm a little bit scared of. And if you are going to pay down here, which I'm probably not, but you can, you got Jackson Hayes against the Knicks, about 20 fantasy points. Musa Diabate, or however you say his name. If you know how to say his name, let me know down below. About 20 fantasy points. And then Jalen Williams for OKC. Going up against Sacramento, 20th DVP, right around 19 to 22 fantasy points. So those are just some of the projections. They are not all of them. If you want to see the rest, you want to see everything else, go check out fantasyteamadvice.com. You can sign up $10 for a week, $30 for a month. Go check us out. If you've got questions, we've hopefully got answers, whether or not you ask down below. But if you are here to help the algorithm out, if you watch this video in its entirety, if you watch the ads or click on the ads and leave a comment, that helps the algorithm. I don't make much from YouTube whatsoever, but watching the videos the entire way through and interacting with it will help us out in the long run. So I do thank each and every one of you in that instance. So that being said, we are going to build a DraftKings lineup, a FanDuel lineup, and even a Yahoo lineup for you. So if you have not already done so, if you need a paper pen, you need to pause the video when we get to it, we can do that. It's just kind of where are we at and what kind of lineup can we build. Now, when we build lineup, I'll preface this by saying we build lineups, and I'm using the projections and the simulations over here. Maybe some of these plays we talked about, some we have not. That is why I tell you go check out all of our projections, all of our simulations, because we can't cover everything. The video will be 3 hours long, but we are building lineups for tournaments. These are early lineups too. The chances of all of these players being in and not, we got to sit him for rest out of nowhere or something like that. It's getting thinner and thinner every single week, which is absolutely wild. But I'm building a lineup for tournament. We're going to go from Malik Monk all the way down to Keegan Murray. We've got Sabonis here in center. Christian Braun, we're saving a little bit of money with. We're saving money with Harrison Barnes. Saving money with Jovic a little bit as well. So this is a DraftKings tournament lineup. It most likely will change a little bit. These are great starting base points. 9 times out of 10, I will tell you not to just copy and paste. But we have had some people use these lineups and win big. And then they tipped us pretty big, which was awesome. So if anyone loves what we do here and you want to tip us, I've got Venmo, I've got PayPal, I have Cash App. We got all of that. If you would like to tip us, Super Chat on here on YouTube is nice, but they take like 75%. So if you guys are interested, you can always email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and send me a tip. It would be very much appreciated. Not expected, but very much appreciated. So this is a DraftKings lineup. We've got a FanDuel lineup here, a little bit different, but plays we already talked about. Kaysen Wallace as a cheap play. You got Isaiah Joe as a cheap play. That one, it's always up in the air. Zaire Williams. And then we did get Rudy Gobert there. I love that matchup for him as long as the game does not get out of hand. So that is a FanDuel lineup. You can pause the video and look at it there. And then we've got you guys a Yahoo lineup. Now, it's a little bit different, but we do have Anthony Edwards in there. We got Jovic in there. We got Rudy Gobert yet again. We got Tariq Eason. The pricing is quite a bit different on Yahoo than on some of the other ones. I'm wanting to say the pricing for, so the pricing for Tariq Eason on DraftKings is $5,200, which is on the lower end. But then Eason here is at $22, where the lower end's like $10 to $15. So the pricing's a little bit different, a little bit up there. Like Rudy Gobert is up there at $30, where he's a little bit cheaper on some of the other sites. So depending if you play on this website, I wanted to bring this to you guys. Hopefully you love this video. Hopefully we have a great Saturday. Again, the earlier you watch this video, the chance you can go check out our simulations and our lineups and our cheat sheet for MMA. It is right there under the MMA tab. Go check it out. Let's have a fantastic Saturday. We only have one more Sunday of football until September. But you know what that means? MLB. Once we have the Super Bowl, MLB pitchers and catchers report the following week. Games start the following week from that. Then we've got about a month of spring training. And guys, we absolutely love MLB. If you've never been with us for MLB season, you're in for a treat. Go check out the playlist, our MLB playlist. We break down every single pitcher, every single batter on that day. The videos are about 40 to 45 minutes long a day, but we break down as much as humanly possible. So That being said, let's have a fantastic Saturday, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at. DFS, sports betting, we've got you covered. Let's have a great day. Good luck today, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.